The Hash It Out Show is brought to you by Barreto Home Solutions, Bayou Audio and Video, Hot Works on the North Shore, JFK Martial Arts in Mandeville and Covington, Lil Dizzy's Cafe, The Green Law Firm, personal injury attorney, Kaylin Parker of Magnolia Wealth Strategies, Moe's Pizza, Lance's AC and Heating, CC's Children Blocks, The Pierre Family in Lafayette, Louisiana, Drums Earwear.
Hands up, hands up. If you winning and you don't give a fuck about a hater, tell them move, 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 move. Cause I'm winning, I'm winning, I'm winning. I'm winning, I'm winning, I'm winning. I'm winning, I'm winning, I'm winning. I'm winning, I'm winning, I'm winning.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Hash It Out Show. I'm your host, JB, the sports guy. We got a good one tonight. Ed Daniels said that the 1992 Hahnville Tigers football team was the greatest Louisiana high school football team he ever saw play. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we will talk to two guys who were on that team. We have Lionel Irons and we have the one and only Clifton White. They will join us tonight to recap that 1992 season. And when you got a powerful offense and a great defense, you're just destined to win. I'm joined by the one and only VK Jones. What's going on, VK?
Hey, what's going on? I was just about to pick up the slack, man, because I didn't see you on the screen for a second, man. I was about to go ahead and get it going for you. You know what I'm saying?
Of course you would have. Of course you would.
Yeah, you know we got each other back. It's all good, man. Like, tag, share, subscribe to the Hash It Out Show, all social media platforms. We are on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, you name it. We are on each and every Tuesday and Wednesday night. And also, we got the Hash It Out Show game of the week that is coming up soon. And we got some good ones for you coming up. We'll make an announcement on that soon, but we got a good one tonight honoring one of the great teams in the state of Louisiana.
You right about that. Man, when you go back to 1992 and they call it the dream season. When you shut out 10 out of 15 opponents, and I mean shut out, that speaks volumes. Like, we've had many great defenses in this state, but man, I don't know if anyone else has ever shut out 10 out of 15 teams. And I want to say this Hahnville team, their first 7 games were all shutouts. First 7. Even the rivalry with Destrehan in week 6 in 1992, they shut them out. You shut out 10 out of 15 opponents. You pretty much are considered one of the greatest defense ever in the state of Louisiana. And then when you go to the offensive side of the ball, when you have Horace Raymond at running back, you have, and I want to make sure I say his name right. Yeah, Durain Dumiles also at running back. And then arguably the best Hahnville football player of all time, Clifton White at quarterback. And you're averaging close to 40 points a game. It's pretty much hard to beat that team. period. I mean, this team was loaded, VK. And I want to say that from what Ed Daniels said, that 15 players from this team went on to play Division I football, VK.
Yes, a lot of those players from that '92 team, and head coached by Darren Barbier,
Yeah,
a great coach who really turned around that program. And it was a while for Hahnville to get back up, especially in the winning column and being more of the consistent column. He came there to turn it around. Is Barbier was a former Shaw assistant and came there, took over that Hahnville program, and turned that program into winning quickly. So, for that being said, everything was in the works. You go from 90 to 91, the progress of the program. 92, Coach Bobby and that team felt like this is our time to take over. All these teams had their time, but this is our time to take over. And that's what they did that year. The defense was unbelievable. The closest defenses I seen that was as good as this Hahnville 92 team. John Curtis had a hell of a defensive team. I'm trying to think, it was 93 and maybe the 2003 team. They were unbelievable defenses that really shut some opposition down. Another defense that you can put Hahnville up with, and maybe one of the greatest ever.
put Hahnville with or put them up with Hahnville? Because I mean,
Put them up with Hahnville.
okay.
Well, the only thing that come close to the Hahnville team, and it's probably better than the Hahnville team, is the '75 St. Augustine State Championship.
Oh, yo, look,
No, hold on.
Throw shade, man, because you are St. Augustine alumni.
Hold on. I got facts for you.
Oh,
this is
man.
Facts. No, this is cold hard facts. I'm not doing this because I'm a St. Augustine alumnus. I'm not throwing shade. This is facts. Do you know that St. Aug team in '75? Do you know out of all the games they played that particular season, they only gave up 16 points total, 11 shutouts. They was not shut out in the regular season. They only gave up 16 the whole season, and that's in the playoffs. That's when and it was low scoring games. The St. Aug won. So
I put my money
that 92 defense of Hahnville was that good. They're as good as that 75 defense. I'm just saying that I'm not throwing shade at all. Go look it up.
Yeah, we know you're not throwing shade at all. Maybe the other purple and gold, you trying to throw shade.
I'm not. No, I didn't say all. I said I'm not throwing shade at all. Period. I respect the Hahnville program. I'm giving facts to you. I can't display and say this, that, and the third. I'm not trying to throw shade at Hahnville. Yeah. The program is awesome. It's just the fact of the matter is, hey, they're as good as this defense. I'm giving you a good example. That's a good defense. John Curtis had a couple of great defenses too. So those are maybe one of the best.
We talking about Curtis and all. It's about Hahnville 92.
It is about Hahnville 92. I'm just giving you examples, dude, because of how good that Hahnville defense is. That's ridiculous what Hahnville did. Unbelievable to have 10 shutouts, man. That's worthy. That's big time worthy to be one of the best defenses,
That is hard to do.
But over the years, we have seen some really, really good defenses. Hahnville is one of them. Yeah, like I said, Curtis, St. Aug. We can't forget about another defense, and I just wish they would have did a lot more in the playoffs, and that's the West Jeff 97 defense. We just wish they would have went deeper in the playoffs because that was a really, really good defense right then and there. So, but that 92 team, what they done was unprecedented, and it was unbelievable for what they did, setting the tone. And what makes it better when you have an offense like Hahnville? It makes it better because we can score the ball. If we can score the ball, defense got our back. We got nothing to worry about. So I just felt sorry for anybody who went against Hahnville in 92 because they was a train. And you was not stopping that train in 92. Not at all.
No, I'm an 8-year-old kid at those Hahnville games that year, 92. I remember it. Remember the Dome for sure. And I remember the Destrehan game. Those the 2 games I remember. I don't remember the other ones, but I know I went to some. And like I said, Clifton White always stands out to me because he was just phenomenal, throwing, running, you name it. But when you got the weapons that he had around him to make this offense just go and his offense click like that with, like I said, Durain DeMiles and Horace Raymond. You know, Horace Raymond had 700, let me say it right, 733 yards rushing in 5 games, the first 5? The first 5 games, 733 yards. That is phenomenal. Phenomenal with all the pieces you got around you offensively. I mean, goodness gracious.
How much did he finish? That's what I'm curious about. If he had a good start,
I don't have what he finished. I don't have what he finished, but I know it's way over 1,000. Way over 1,000. I know that. And he played in the first half of all those games pretty much. After the first half.
That's great.
Think about that. Horace Raymond. And then Durain DeMiles was right there with him. In those 5 games, he had 398. So that's a 3-headed monster within itself right there, offensively, that you got to try to stop. And that's not even easy to do. And back to the defense, right. The chemistry that they all had with Lionel Irons, and you had let me get his name right, because I don't want to mess it up. Chris Green and some of those other guys. My goodness, these dudes are making plays left and right. And if you needed a stop, they got that stop for you. That's how dangerous this team was. This team was something else. And, you know, people are going to, you know, when they name the greatest of all teams, you know, people are going to say that Brock Berlin 99 Evander team, the Carr team from last year. It's always debate. But I think 15 Division I signees from this team right here. This Hahnville team goes up there with a lot of the best of them. Go ahead, sir.
I agree. I definitely agree. What they have done, what they accomplished, 15 signees. That's it. To me, Hahnville set the tone. They set the tone for the River Parish. They set the tone for what they have done, especially the success of the River Parish. It's been successful a long time. Yeah. But for them to really come up the way they did and come up for River Parish football, to knowing that it opened up for Destrehan, it opened up for St. Charles Catholic, it opened up for St. James, it opened up for West St. John, Riverside. You know what I'm saying? At the time, that was the first thing, you know, when I started watching Friday Night Football, looking at Hahnville and then looking at the other teams, it's like, wow, it made me think about River Parish football in itself, that I need to take a look and get a taste of it. I need to see what it is. And when I finally went in 93, when St. Aug played Hahnville, going out there to Tiger Stadium and getting the first taste of River Parish football, it just showed how real it is out here. I couldn't believe it's a lot more real than it is in New Orleans.
Oh, it's real, brother.
It's very, very real. And I was like, it was the first taste of it. And when I went to other places, I was like, River Parish football has a new respect for me. I'm sorry, that's real football to me. Because they take this serious. They shut things down. You know
Coach
what I'm saying?
Dags. Coach Dags.
Oh, I told you it was coming, dude.
Oh man.
See, it's not me. I told you it's not me. You know what I'm saying? But see, yeah, I like the comment. 94 team was the coming out party there. 94 team, and that was a big redemption year for them, because it was, the fact of the matter was, they got the ultimate baptism in 93.
There you go. Oh my God.
It's the truth.
Man, can you just say y'all beat them? Oh my God. They got the ultimate baptism.
They came to Class 5 in year 1.
Oh my
What you think happens?
God.
All teams go through that. When they get to the higher classification, it's always somebody that's going to give them the welcome to 5A game, meaning welcome to the big leagues, kid. Get ready to roll. And that's what it was. No, not look, what Hahnville had that year, there was not a bad team. But at the same time, you know what I'm saying? They had a good start to the game. Quentin Guidry, 2 big field goals. They up and at them. Okay, cool. But when St. All caught on fire, that was it. That's just what it is. Thank you, Coach Dags. That's all it was. All the big teams do it to teams that are coming up. Even John Curtis took it. John Curtis took a shot because you come to the big leagues. It happens to all teams.
Oh my God.
But once they get settled, and that's what Hahnville did.
So
they
after
got settled
Donrell McKenzie
in
went out,
94.
St. All caught fire, pretty much, right?
No, that was one thing.
Okay.
That was one thing, but you had to think, St. Aug, you had to think. St. Aug was on fire that year. They won 11 straight games going into that game and averaging 42 points a game in the last 11. So the thing is, if Aug start to catch on fire, it's hard to catch Aug. That's how good St. Aug was that year.
Donrell was putting that fire out until he got hurt. All right, yeah,
The fire out.
Yeah, he put that fire out until he got hurt.
You don't remember the Sean Rhodes return? The Sean Rhodes return.
Oh,
Sean
man.
Rhodes scored 4 touchdowns.
All right, we're
Don't
going back
remember
to Hahnville
Let's go
football
back to
now.
Hahnville. Let's
So
go
we
back
are
to
honoring
Hahnville,
that
dude.
92 state team.
We're gonna stop. We're gonna stop disrespecting.
Not we. It ain't me. It ain't me.
No, I'm going to stop disrespecting. I respect the Hahnville Tigers, and I respect their program.
Oh,
I'm not
man.
going to disrespect them.
Look, the last 6 comments, man. 42-6 Hahnville. Welcome to 5A. Shaw beat Hahnville 93-2. Oh my goodness, man. But what Kevin Guidro said right here. I was at this game in Lake Charles. I had cousins that went to LaGrange, and I have family in Booty and Luling, and my daddy, went to Hahnville, won the 72 state championship with their football team. So we went to Lake Charles for that game, man. And boy, you talk about a game right there. And from my eyes, I'm gonna tell you the truth. I'm 9 years old then. No, I'm 10. I'm 10 years old. I'm 10 years old then. LaGrange, to me, was the better team that night. To me, they were. But LaGrange missed the extra point overtime. And Hahnville goes to the Dome and they win. I remember that game like yesterday, man. We passed up Hahnville's buses on I-10, and I rolled down the window and I was waving to them and everything. And I could see them, and they were doing all this, man. They saw a fan with them, man. And remember that like yesterday. But
Of course, and that quarterback from LaGrange.
No, Kevin, it wasn't that McNeese.
The quarterback.
Good question, Kevin. Good question. You're probably right. I just see LaGrange. Well, you might be right there with that McNeese. Go ahead right quick, VK.
The quarterback from LaGrange was impressive. His last name was London. Man, he had a cannon. I knew how good Clifton White was. But that dude, London, oh, Lord, look at them highlights. I said, boy, this boy on the money. And for Hahnville to get it done in that hostile environment, I was like, I just knew right then and there. I said, man, Hahnville's going to win it all. They win in 5A. They're going to win it all here.
When I think of Hahnville all the time, man, I always say this.
Frank London. Frank London.
Before we go to commercial break, like I always say, there is no reason why Hahnville should not be in the playoffs every year. I say it all the time. Hahnville should be in the playoffs every year. And you look at what Coach Bowen did in his first season, got to the playoffs, got a playoff win, hosted 2 home games, which is phenomenal. And I think bigger things are going to come for the Hahnville Tigers with Coach Bowen as the head coach. But that's an area always loaded with talent, and Hahnville should always, to me, be in the playoffs and should be making noise come Thanksgiving week every year. They should. Does that happen all the time? No, it doesn't happen. It's possible you can get out in the second round, but the Hahnville Tigers should be making noise every year, and I think they're on the right track with Coach Boyne to getting back to where they are supposed to be. And we saw it firsthand last year against Destrehan. We saw it firsthand against Destrehan. That was the first time in a few years that the battle was that close and how it's supposed to be, and having the stands actually full with people and some standing room only behind on the track, like how it always was when Destrehan and Hahnville played. So that's getting back to where it was, and that's good. As long as Hahnville is winning, it's gonna be like that. We're gonna take a quick commercial break, and we come back. We got Lionel Irons in the lobby, and hopefully Clifton White will join us as well, as you are watching the Hash It Out show. Don't go nowhere. Y'all stay right there. Are you in need of a new windshield? Leo Autoglass can help. For 20 years, Leo Autoglass have been servicing the New Orleans area with windshield replacement and auto glass repair. Give them a call today, 504-301-8353.
Hey y'all, this is Jen Hale from Fox Sports. You're watching the Hash It Out show with JB the Sports Guy, VK Jones, and George Peppis.
Did you experience storm damage from Hurricane Francine? Barretto Home Solutions can help. You can give them a call at 504-940-7552.
Green Law Firm is a full-service law firm specializing in personal injury, criminal law, successions, and family law. With over 25 years of experience, the Green Law Firm continues to provide efficient, competitive, and effective representation to clients throughout the state of Louisiana and all across the nation. Consultations are free. If you're looking for results, call the Green Law Firm at 504-328-3990. That's 504-328-3990, located at 931 Westwood Drive, Suite B in Marrero, Louisiana. The Green Law Firm.
Hi, I'm Erica Randolph, head coach of the Hahnville Tigers boys basketball team, and you are watching the Hash It Out show.
And welcome back to the Hash It Out show. I'm your host, JB the Sports Guy with VK Jones. Joining us right now, two members from that 1992 state championship team of the Hahnville Tigers football team. We have Lionel Irons and Clifton White. What's going on, fellas? How y'all doing?
Doing good. How you making out?
Doing good, fellas. Let me start with you, Clifton, right quick. As you're getting ready for the season back in 1992, what was the mindset of the football team going into the season? Did you guys, of course, everyone's goal is to become state champions, but besides that, what was the mindset you all had going into that season?
Well, we knew we were supposed to live that year, but anything could happen. So we got saying, don't take no being lightly.
Let me go to Lionel. Lionel, what was the mindset?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you, Clifton, but you're breaking up a little bit. You're breaking up.
We most of us came in freshmen together, so our mindset was that we was gonna win it all. Just to be honest with you, because that loss the year before to Bogalusa in the playoffs, we had a little controversial the interception, touchdown reception, and Bogalusa beat us. So we came with the mindset that it was state or nothing. I didn't even get a class ring because I told my mom I was winning state.
Wow. So you were determined, my brother.
Yeah, and we were all freshmen together, so that's why the chemistry looked like it looked. We came in as freshmen together, the majority of the seniors on that team.
Okay. Let me try Clifton again. Clifton. So
Yeah,
Coach Barbier talked about it being a dream season, and I asked about the dream season later. But what was it like playing for Coach Barbier?
oh man, it was great, man. Coach Bobby was like a friend, a coach, a mediator. He was everything, man.
And same question to you, Lionel, Coach
Yeah,
Barbie.
he was the same thing like a father. He'd do anything for you. He'd help you out in any way he could. He was a real player's coach, put it like that. You know, some coaches, they say a player's coach. Bobby was definitely a player's coach.
Definitely. Lionel, I'll stay with you right quick. The defense was called the Purple Haze. And the first 7 games, no one scored. Talk about what made the defense so great.
Well, like I said, most of us, and I played both. I was primarily a guard, but I did play D tackle too. But that defense was just something with the guys. It was a special bond that everybody had with each other. You know what I mean? And it was competition on every level at practice. They Bounty Gate with the Saints. It was like that at practice for us. So you know when it came to game time, we saw a different color jersey. It was all out at that point.
And Clifton, you guys offensively just pretty much scored at will. Talk about the offense you guys had with you, Horace Raymond, Darain DeMills. You guys, all the weapons you had offensively.
Yeah, I was younger than them. They all had played together a while. You know, I was a sophomore. They all were seniors. My goal was to make sure I didn't mess up. And basically that's what, by making sure I didn't mess up, I became part of the team. You know, I push and push and push. I already knew they were gonna do what they had to do. It just was me. I couldn't mess up.
I want to go to the week 6 game against Destrehan that you guys won and you guys shut them out, knowing that Destrehan's your big time rival. And I go to Clifton first. What did you learn about yourselves, as in the team? What did you learn about the team after that victory against Destrehan?
Well, that was really our first major push that year. And the way the game started off, it was like, oh man, this is going to be a long game for all of us. But after a little while into the game, we got the licks. Everybody felt what it felt. The whole team just pushed together, man. I think we wound up winning 31-0 or something like that. We pushed together.
Well, Clifton, I don't even remember. We tried to do a new offense that first series.
Right.
You remember when it didn't work? Bobby said, fuck that. We going back to what we do.
Yeah.
That's exactly the first series. That's when we had the turnover. We tried to do some double tight end stuff. And it didn't work out, trying to trick Destrehan. And he was like, we don't need to trick nobody. Go back to what we do.
Yeah. We tried new offense every week pretty much. We wanted to see where we could hit at on all cylinders, Yeah. Say if we play against a team that stopped the run, let's do some pass. Barbie had tried all kind of stuff to see which one was going to be effective, especially during the playoffs.
Definitely. So you defeat Destrehan, you finish district. First round of playoffs, you got Nichols High, and you only allow 51 total yards for them. Defeat them. Second round, Woodlawn, defeat them. Third round, you had to go to Berman. You defeated Old Perry Walker 38-13. Semis, you play against Carroll, and you win 24-0. Now, you guys clinch a berth in the Superdome for the state championship. And Lionel, I want you to answer this because you was a senior at the time. Talk about not just being happy of getting to the dome, but wanting, like you said, you didn't get a class ring, wanting to win that championship.
See, at halftime, we were down, and nobody noticed. That's all Bobby said, and he walked out. If y'all happy getting here, I'm happy for y'all. And he walked out the locker room and left us in there by ourselves.
Wow.
So it was on us to come out and do something different, because it was, if you want it, you got to go get it.
Yeah.
Baltimore wasn't going to give it to us because they wanted to win too. They had beat Curtis, I think. Did they beat Curtis? Or Opelousas might have beaten Curtis that year. I think Opelousas beat Curtis that year.
Opelousas.
And then Broadmoor beat Opelousas. But yeah, it was one of those things where he just came in and said, if y'all happy getting here, I'm happy for y'all. If y'all want to win it, and left. It was no big speech, no change up or nothing. He left it all on us.
Clifton, I go to you because Lionel said it. Y'all were down 16-6 at halftime, and that was the first time y'all ever been down that whole season, and like pretty much facing adversity for the first time the whole season. Talk about what had to be done. I mean, he did mention, Bobby said, if y'all happy, I'm happy for y'all, and walked out. But what had to be done from you guys to get that victory?
Well, we as an offense, we realized the mistakes we were making. You know, we all year long we never really was a team that fumbled the ball. You know, throw interceptions, do all kinds of stuff. We were trying too hard to push to get where we had to go. We all had it's the Superdome.
Yeah.
We all nervous, you know, everything. So by halftime, we seen the coach look like he didn't even want to talk to us. All he said was, y'all know what y'all need to do. But we all calmed down and we were like, man, look, this is our game. Let's go. So came out the second half, everybody put the mistakes and the nervousness aside, you know?
Definitely. Lionel, let me ask you this. Y'all tied it up 16-16. How big was the Chris Green fumble strip and score for 60 yards for y'all to give y'all the lead for the first time in the game, and y'all never looked back after that?
That was one of the biggest plays and kind of gave us a breath of relief, you know, like, because prior to that, it was third down on offense before we scored coming out the half. And I think Clifton threw to Noel on a little zero route. And Noel took it for a first down. And that kind of broke what offense can move the ball. And like you said, it was mistakes and us calming down and realizing that these people couldn't beat us. They wasn't close. I think that's what once we realized that, because they scored on big plays. It was no drives that they really were scoring on. It was just a big play here, a big play there, and we fumbled and gave them a easy touchdown too. So it wasn't like they was just beating us. We were beating ourselves. But that play from Green was definitely one of the biggest plays in that game.
Yep, he got the strip. He ran in for 60 yards, pushed it up 23-22. Horace Raymond then went 56 yards down the field for a score. And then Daraine DeMille scored, and it was 37-22. Game was a wrap. Horace Raymond MVP. Clifton, the feeling once the game was over, because all y'all ran to the 50-yard line and y'all all fell down celebrating. What was the feeling?
Man, the feeling was amazing, bro. It was a big sign of relief for me, because you got to think about it. Like I said, I was the only sophomore, and on the offense, and I had a lot of weight on my back, you know. And I was like, all right, we got it, you know. But I said now, actually, I seen it was possible for Hahnville to make it there and win it. I said now it's time we got to get it together where we go back again.
Definitely. That you did in 1994. We'll talk about that a little later. Before I go to VK, Lionel, Coach Barbier says he called it the dream season. What else comes to mind during that 1992 season?
Well, he modeled that after the dream team, because how they was beating people. And like I said, defensively, yeah, we knew they could stop, and I think that gave him the liberty to try a bunch of different things on offense. And I want to say one thing about the 10 shutouts. It should have been 11. South Terrebonne kicked the field goal with 3 seconds left just to say they scored on us. And about that, when we had the 7 shutouts, when Ellender scored, Coach brought up the defense in the locker room before the game and said they're going to score on y'all if they get close, because he pulled most of the defense out.
Mm-hmm.
Because he read somewhere that some team had went unscored on into the playoffs. The first team scored on them, and it was like a shock. Wow. And they wound up losing the game. So I guess he was a little cautious about that. But dream season and dream team, I think that's about the best way during that time you can sum up the comparison to the two teams, because that was the first time the NBA was in the Olympics, NBA players, and then the success we had. So it was just like we had a dream team in high school football in Louisiana that year.
Clifton, your thoughts?
Well, going into the season, like I said, I didn't know what to expect. But by the end of the season, our ranking after we won state, I think we were like number 2 in the nation, and
wow,
we wanted to play the guys that they said were number 1. You know.
Yeah.
Go ahead, VK.
How you doing, guys? Lionel and Cliff, man, y'all guys were unbelievable. I mean, that 92 team, that's so much to that community at Hahnville, and that was my beginning days looking at Friday Night Football, looking at the other side of high school football besides the city of New Orleans. It was something else to see that the River Parish was shining, man. So appreciate y'all being on the show, and especially honoring y'all guys, because y'all really set a you know what I mean? Setting something up in River Parish football more than anything else.
Right. Thank you.
No problem. I gotta ask you this, Lionel. How much confidence you had, not just with your team, but this young man right here, Clifton Wright, as a sophomore starting at quarterback for this team? How much confidence you had in this young man?
You know how Terrell Owens was on TV crying? That's my quarterback. That's the confidence I had in Clifton when he was playing. It didn't matter the age. He was above his age during that time, because he had seniors on the bench behind him. You know what I mean? At the quarterback position. So for the offense we ran, everything we did, that's the quarterback. That's the best quarterback we could have had on that team. It didn't matter, because he could do everything. You know what I mean? It wasn't nothing. He could throw the ball. If we had to throw it, he threw it. Because Carroll, when we won 24-0, it was 3 passing touchdowns. They were shutting the run down. You see what I'm saying?
Wow. Unbelievable. Cliff, gotta ask you this, man. You know, how much it was in you so much that you came out there and worked your tail off to become the starter in 1992. And Lionel mentioned there was seniors that was right on your tail, but you weathered that storm and you wound up being the man.
Well, like I said, I look at Horace, the rain, all of them. Man, they pushed me all through the summer. They pushed me. Any mistake I made, they kept me going more and more. Like you said, it had some of the guys that were seniors. They made less mistakes. They knew all the offense a little more than me. But as we pushed through, then spring football came and all, where we had the spring games and all. They steady pushed me, man, until I wound up winning the starting position, man. You know, they never once said I couldn't be the starter. They just followed my lead.
Wow. And let's talk a little bit about your career, Clifton. I mean, only 3 losses overall as a starter in your career, and it's amazing. The 3 losses was in '93. The 3 losses was in '93, but you came back with a vengeance in '94 and felt like, nah, I'm not losing a thing. What was on your mind going into '94?
Well, like I said, I had been to the Dome once before, and Horace, Lionel, and all, man, I saw their faces, bro. It was perfect, man. So I was like, my senior year, that's where I'm gonna be at. No ifs, ands, or buts, you know. And when we got there, everyone asked me about all in the newspaper and all. They want to know, what do we think about? So I'm like, wait a minute. I thought we were number 1 in state. Why should I even think about Washington? You know, they need to think about us. So that's the attitude I went in there with, you know.
Wow. I mean, in that year, you was like, you know, you like you never left. You've been consistent 3 years. Senior year was just the fact that, hey, You know, I did it before, and I'm gonna do what I can to do it again. And you did right then and there. Lionel, let me ask you a bit about the signees of that 92 year. And there was a lot of signees that year. And, you know, like I said, you set the tone for River Parish, but also the signings, you set the tone for Southeast Louisiana with a whole bunch of programs signing multiple people to college scholarships. What you can say about that particular season with yourself and other seniors signing to an opportunity to play college football?
Well, I think that kind of set the tone for the River Parish to put the spotlight on us. Like, we can play here. But what people don't realize, that district, prior to us going, it was maybe, 4 or 5 years straight, that district was represented in the state game, because it was Thibodeau, and I think 90. Then it was
90.
South Terrebonne the year before us.
Mm-hmm.
It was in the same district. Then it was us. And I think Destrehan went, when did they go? In 93?
93.
So it was 4 years straight. Then you go 94, Hahnville went back. So for 5 years, that district was in the dome. And I think a lot of people look at who we played through the regular season, but don't realize that district was in the dome 5 years straight. You know what I mean? So it was putting bigger. I think by us playing the way we did, it put a bigger spotlight on it. So now you have to give notice to that district and the River Parishes. So I think a lot more colleges were coming to watch, and a lot more people were able to get signed because of that, because it put the spotlight on the River Parishes more, the way we won that year.
Clifton, I tell you, that I know 93 wasn't going. You know, you want to try to get back. It wasn't going to be that easy because you move in classification. You go to 5A. Which game did you think it got really real for you and Hahnville, realizing, okay, we're on the next level now, and we got to really step up?
The game that I really think was West Jeff when we played against them. You know, you had highly named players, receiver, Larry Foster, all, and not just that, the guys that was on the line and all, man. Some of my offensive linemen, they were like, man, look at him, look at him. I'm like, man, we can't worry about this here. So the first half, man, it was basically intimidation to us. The second half, when we came out, everyone seemed, man, we equal. That's when we came back, you know, and won the game. They were beating us the whole first half, you know. We were dropping the ball on the ground, man. We didn't want to get hit by them, all kind of stuff.
Yeah, I can tell that was a unbelievable ball game in itself, going against Melvin Dickerson at quarterback, Larry Foster at receiver, that a very good defense in West Jeff that season. And y'all was down 20-0 at the half, and you come back to win that ball game. And I mean, I gotta say it was wild, because that was a great comeback for y'all guys, because, you know, y'all felt more than anything else that we needed to win that game. And it felt like, you know, I think it was a sign that y'all really belong in 5A.
Right.
Lionel, I gotta ask you this a bit about Hahnville, how the program has been, you know, continuing to progress more than anything else. Sometimes they had their lean years, but we have seen some progress, especially last season, with the Tigers getting back to the playoffs, winning a first-round game, but not just that, bringing something back to the Hahnville-Destrehan rivalry. What you can say of the job of Greg Boyne that he's doing right now with this current Hahnville football team?
I think he's doing a great job. He's getting to what he's doing. He's getting back to knowing the community. You know what I mean? And I think that's the biggest thing that coaches didn't do for that stretch where Hahnville was on the down years, because Bobby did it when he came in. He got to know the members of the community. That's how you get players that want to play for you. And previous regimes didn't do that. So Bourne is actively doing that, and they're going to be young this year. You know what I mean? But it's so much talent that I think even last year, if they would have been out, that they would have probably went a little further. And they got a bad break against Chalmette in the playoffs, I believe, and that kind of stopped the run a little further. But overall, I think Greg Bourne is doing an excellent job at getting his players to buy into his system. You know what I mean? And once they do that and want to play for him and want to play for Hahnville again, wanting to do good for the community. And I think that's the biggest thing, because when we was playing, we played Destrehan. You couldn't find a soul on the streets.
That's right.
You had to put stands around the track in order to have enough room. It didn't matter what side you were playing on. And if it gets back to that, I know it's something special that's going on once it gets back to that.
Agreed.
Clifton, I'm gonna ask you the same question. Your thoughts on Coach Boyne and how he's trying to bring things back to the Hahnville community and everything else?
Well, looking at him as a coach, he reminds me a lot about Bobby. He like Lionel said, he gives back to the community. He's trying to get the guys to play as a whole. It's not singling one player out the whole game, you know. He's trying to get everyone into it, even the parents. So that's probably the best thing to do. And in actuality, the way he's doing it, might wind up seeing Hahnville in the dome again.
I wouldn't be surprised. I would not be surprised.
If he bring back that Tiger pride that we used to do pregame. Now listen, I going to college, and after people said they were scared of us because of Tiger pride. They thought we was crazy. When they put that Jaws theme on and we all rush into the middle.
Yeah.
They thought we was crazy. And that was a big, I didn't think it was that intimidating myself until after.
I looked at that too. I you know, don't want to try to go back to certain times, but like I said, my first taste was 93, Hahnville St. Aug, and I looked at that entrance and I was like, what is this? And I'm like, whoa. It kind of got me there, because when I look at the entrance from everybody else, you know what I'm saying? Like, you look at how Shaw comes out, how Eric comes out, how Carr has with the Rock, how West Jeff back then, when it was winning, they had the cannon, and everybody runs to the field. So seeing that, I was like, man, that's a rush right there, man. And hearing the crowd and everything, it was definitely like, I say, hey, River Parish football is real, man. I'm like, it is straight real. I thought New Orleans is something, but I'm like, nah, man, these people shut it down for a reason. They shut the town, all the workplace, they shut it down for a reason, Jack. And they come out here and watch these kids out here and support these kids and communities. So that's the biggest thing I really liked what I seen and what I was impressed at. Now, talking a little bit, you know, a little more about Hahnville and their programs, a lot of great runs to the dome and everything else. And the 92 team always sets the tone for the Hahnville program and everything else. But I always talk about the Hahnville State Championship team, and I believe the Bryant Lee team. What year that was, Jared?
2003.
2003. To me, I thought that was the state championship that changed the entire game and changed the trajectory of the state. Because at that time, North Louisiana was kind of running shot over the years with the state championships. And I seen Hahnville play that season. And I seen Bryant Lee, I seen that team. I said, this team is good enough. They could win it all. They're good enough to do it. And they wound up doing it, and they beat Evangel. And I was like, this is a game changer, because now the South is about to come back. It started with Hahnville, and then here comes Southwest Louisiana, and then Southeast Louisiana came along there, and it's been a huge turnaround.
Because didn't Destrehan beat was it Ruston or Evangel not too long after that?
I believe so. Yep. Yep. Actually, Destrehan, when they won it, they beat
they just beat Ruston a couple years ago.
They beat Ruston a couple years ago. The first time when they won it, they beat Acadiana. And then the next year they beat West Monroe.
West Monroe, that's who it was. West Monroe.
Yeah. West Monroe in a low scoring game. So, but looking at that River, and then and also you look at that that year when Destrehan won that, and I think, and I'm trying to remember, what was it that year they beat Acadiana? No. That was the next year, the last year before the split. What was funny about that? All 5 teams, all 5 classifications was won by Southeast Louisiana.
Right.
For the first time ever, the entire Southeast Louisiana won the weekend. And I think that's something you might never see again, but that was amazing in itself. And I couldn't even believe the split started after. Yeah, but did you think that Hahnville team I talked about with Brian Lee, do you think it kind of changed the game? I'm gonna ask that to Clifton first. What did you think? Did that Hahnville team kind of change the game for the state?
Yeah, because basically the way they played, we played with just straight aggression and everything. The team Brian Lee was on, you saw. It was a world of things they could have did, throwing the ball and everything, Man, I watched him as he come up in Hahnville, man. He was a great quarterback too. But yeah, they changed the game then.
Right, absolutely. Your thoughts, Lionel? Did you think that team really kind of changed things for the state of Louisiana?
It changed it for the state because it put the North on notice that it's not going to be too many down years from the South.
Yeah.
South Louisiana. So y'all not just running ruck shot over the rest of the state, but the Evangels, how it used to be, the Ruston and West Monroes. Nobody's scared of y'all anymore. I think that's what the difference was, because Curtis was playing up in some of those things, and they were considered to be the only one that could compete with some of those teams. But it put on notice that all of us in the Southeast Louisiana have talent, and we showing up to play ball. So it kind of put them on notice after a little lull from the 90s teams. Then you're going back. So that early 2000s with that Hahnville regime, I think Brian might have went to 2. Didn't he win 2?
No, he won 1.
He won 1, but the next year they lost at the last second.
Yeah, they lost to Slidell. I was at that game. They missed the field goal.
Yeah, because coach wanted to keep running the ball. But anyway.
Wow.
You got 10 in the box, and you're going to keep trying to run dive plays. But anyway, I'm going to let that be where it's at. I don't want to be an armchair quarterback too much.
Lionel,
I hear you.
I'm not lying, but...
But I'm gonna go ahead and ask you this, Lionel. And I always say this all the time, and I say that to my boy JB. I know his family is from the area and everything else, and I've been watching. My mother knew some family out there in the Boutique area too, and mentioned a lot about the Hahnville teams in the past and stuff like that and everything. And I always say to this day, there've been some great athletes that came through Hahnville. Yes. For a long time, especially what me and Jared have seen in the later years. Y'all seen it before too. I always say to this day, the best player, best quarterback, best player for player, pound for pound is Clifton White, because that's probably the most consistent player I've probably ever seen on that field. I mean, making plays and then some to help his team. And that's just what I think. What are your thoughts about Clifton? But not just that. What do you think is maybe one of your best players that came out of Hahnville? Well, I know you have seen it too, now.
Prior to our senior year, whatever, I got to pay homage to the players before us when we were freshmen that we looked up to, because that was Barbie's first year as freshmen, because he went and he beat Acadiana as a wild card team and wound up losing the second round my freshman year. So you got the Elton Wards, you got the Kevin Joe Birds, you got the who else was on that team? You got what I'm looking for, John Darrisburgs and players like that before us that kind of set the tone for us to, because we looked at them as giants as freshmen, and then you got to look at the freshmen looking at us as giants. But one player that stands out to me is Sterling LeBranch, and he's as a running back. Sterling he could do it all: run through you, around you, make you fall. And that's just one of the players that stood out to me coming up through Hahnville. as being one of the best players I've seen. And the things Clifton did as a sophomore, that's what I think that's the thing we not understand. He was 15.
Yeah.
He wasn't like an old sophomore where he came in at 16 in the reclass. You know what I mean? He was a legit sophomore. You got what I'm saying? On the field. But the things he was able to do, and with us being around him also, and then going on to win another one his senior year, you have to put him up there with the rest of the players that come through Hahnville. Because he has two pieces of jewelry.
Right.
When
I asked my dad, my dad played on that 72 championship team, and I asked my dad, who do you think is the best one to ever play at Hahnville? And he says Clifton White also. He says Clifton White.
Didn't only lose 3 games too. You know what I mean? Then the 3 was in one season. You see what I'm saying?
three games in one season, and man, the
2 undefeated seasons.
2 undefeated. Can't knock that. Cliff, which players do you think that you look up to more than anything else in Hahnville? What you have seen over the years that you look up to, and do you think is really as good and legendary at Hahnville?
Well, I'm pretty much like Lionel. I look up to, when I first got there, man, I was watching these guys play. I look up to people like Sterling LeBranch. But one guy I really looked up to was the quarterback before me, John Derringsburg, we're from the same hometown, and I was a lot taller than him, but he showed me how to play. Basically everything. He showed me how to take the snaps the right way. He showed me a lot, man. The whole time, my freshman year there, I was basically under him, and he ain't never hesitated to show me anything, man. I even got into games my freshman year, and he never looked at me no any kind of way. If I had a problem, man, he always came, man, look, you got to do it like this. Okay, he basically took me under his wing my freshman year.
I think he did play those last 2 games that year, because I think Horace and all of us came in and because Bobby always did that. He looked to the future, the next. You know what I mean? That's how Waylon Guidry wound up being the quarterback.
Okay.
Over Brent Jones, because he was looking forward. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And Waylon did go to the Dome. I think, because so that's 6 straight years.
6 straight years.
That district was in the Dome instead of 5.
Yep.
Because 95, he went back.
Yep.
I'm sorry. I scratched my head when you say 95. I scratched my head on it.
There you go again. There you go again. Purple Night. There you go.
It don't matter. All I know, I could have got a state ring that year. The 7-6 loss to Neville still hurts. I let that go, and I've been let that go. There's some people that still hold on to it, but for me, I let that go. But at the same time, it still hurts, and we had a chance to still take a lead in the game. That's how bad that hurts. If we face Hahnville in the Dome. That's just all it is.
In '93, the Purple Knights had the 4 horsemen, huh?
Actually, the 5 horsemen, because you had to think.
5,
because you had to think. You can't forget. You had Terrence Wilson, you had Dennis Burks, Damian Charles, Jamal Fobbs, Sean Rose had his first game returning since the first game of the year, and Terrence Wilson. So you had 5 backs you had to deal with. 5 that night. And I was shocked myself that, because everybody kept on saying, and we kept on counting it down when Sean Rose was returning. And it was that night. So it was 5 backs you had to deal with.
I still see if Darrell don't get hurt. It's not that score is a whole lot different.
It might be.
Bird was
but at the same time, that was
one of the most impressive things I've seen at Hahnville.
Right.
Bird was pretty much handling everything alone.
He was really good that year. And Aug was really good. Yeah, he was phenomenal. And Aug was really good too, because of the fact that they came in winning 11 in a row and averaging 42 points a game and averaging over 350 yards of offense, 350 all on the ground. So, but the defense of Hahnville was really good to really slow it down. And I think that 6-0 lead was a good momentum start for Hahnville. And then all of a sudden, the second quarter, when the thing about Aug was once they catch fire, it's hard to catch them. That was the thing about Aug, especially on that streak.
That's when Darrell got hurt.
Yeah.
Look, JB and V, I'm gonna ask y'all a question because we're gonna try to end this debate between the 92 and 94 team.
Okay.
An ongoing debate.
Got it.
Clifton is here now. Clifton saying 94 would have beat us in 92. That's his favorite team.
Dang.
And I'm saying I don't think they would have crossed the 50.
I'm gonna say this, man. I saw both teams with my own eyes. Both teams. I go 92. I would go 92.
Oh, bro. Man. It's hard, bro. It's a push for me, but I give 92 just this much of an edge because it'll be that close. 94 was really, they were really explosive, but you can't sleep and you can't really you can't ignore 7 shutouts, 10 shutouts, really. You just can't ignore that, especially a good defense like that. But I give that 92 team just this much of an edge and this close.
Yeah, I'm 92.
People scored too many points on them, man. I don't hear that. People scored too many points on them, man.
But I love Clifton's stand.
Well, he quarterbacked both teams.
He quarterbacked both teams.
He got kind of special.
Yeah, he has that right.
Special vote. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's got that right, Mr. Lionel.
Yeah, I know
he's got that right. So it's like last week we had who we had on the show last week?
We had La Tech.
Not La Tech, but
Randall Mackey.
Yeah. And we just talked about where he originally came from and talking about the players that came from there. And it was just the fact that, hey, with him, Lafitte, and I'm like, y'all have special, there've been some great players, but y'all are special because you have 2 rings, you have 3 rings. You know what I'm saying? It's something with the rings, but then sometimes it's always that certain player that really went above and beyond, and then some to do what he had to do for his team and for his school all around. Period. So I see Clifton having that right, but I like the debate he has, because I'm like he's gonna pick one of the 2. But I definitely agree with my boy JB, but just by a smidge because I think 94 was really explosive, but you just can't sleep on 10 shutouts. You just can't sleep.
Right. And I'm gonna say without those guys before us on that the defensive players before we got there, we wouldn't have been who we were. Just paying homage to those players that were already there and had that talent. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I gotta ask you this last question. I'm gonna let JB close things out from here. What's your thoughts on the state of River Parish football, and also what things need to be done to continue the great traditional rivalry of Destrehan Hahnville?
The state, I think the talent level is being shown in the River Parish football throughout the state. Is you go through those laws of ups and downs, and it's different classes have a better class than this class and that class, but it's been pretty consistent talent-wise. You know what I mean? In the River Parish is the last few years I'm seeing, and we representing in the playoffs and the dome and whatnot. And the rivalry between Destrehan and Hahnville, I think we need to get the players to play for Hahnville, like Boyne is doing, like the players that weren't playing before, getting them out and on the field. And Coach Scott is winning. And when you have 2 programs that's winning, the rivalry is coming back because now you have to see who the best. You don't have one team that's going 4-6. Everybody, if both teams undefeated going into that game or with just 1 loss, then the rivalry is back because you don't have one that's over the other one. So we have to see who's the best at this point.
And it's amazing looking at it. Marcus Scott breaking the, setting the tone, being the first African American as a head coach in St. Charles Parish and winning a state championship as well. And then River Parish's last couple years, we didn't had 3 River Parish teams representing each year, and one year all 3 got it done. So I love what River Parish football is really doing, outside of, people keep looking at Hahnville Destrehan, you set the tone, but when you look outside at the West St. John's, St. James, the Riversides, the East St. John's,
Lutcher.
St. Charles Parish, St. Charles Catholic, Lutcher. Yeah, you can't forget those other teams. And
I think getting these younger coaches in too, younger coaches that are more relatable to these players.
Yeah,
because you can't coach 1950s coaching in 2025. I'm not talking about schematics. I'm just talking about coaching styles, dealing with these young men. You know what I mean? It's a difference in dealing with a young man in the 80s, 90s, and now you're in 2025, 2020s. So you have to deal with them on a different level and a different way to get everything out of them, to get them to want to play for you. You know what I mean? I think that's what these younger coaches like Boyne and Coach Scott are doing, and that's why they're being productive.
Lionel, I'll get you out of here with this last question. It's actually from Shelby Boyle. He wants to know. Every time we mention Shelby Boyle name, people just start laughing, man.
They know the man.
We know him, and we know it's going to be one of those questions.
What year Shelby played anyway? I'm trying to remember because I know he told me.
Shelby was with Whalen, that team that went when Whalen Gitter was
95. Yeah, okay,
that team.
He was in that team. We always go back and forth a bit about it, but yeah, but Shelby's great. Good. Go ahead.
Yes, indeed. All right. So this is what Shelby's asking. He's asking, and at Hahnville Destrehan this past season, when we were there at VK, there were a lot of. We got Clifton back, so I'm gonna bring Clifton back too. He can answer this question also. Glad we got him back. So this is from Shelby Boyle. What would it take to get the past Hahnville greats? What would it take to get them back around the program?
Most of them, I think you just have to reach out. You know what I mean? It's nobody's reaching out to the past greats of Hahnville. You know what I mean? You're not coming to ask them. Come around the program. I see a few that are there, and me having a son on the team now, I'll be around a whole lot more. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but other than that, it's nobody's reaching out to say, hey, come around, even if it's just to talk to the young men or whatever the case may be, share some of the stories we had. There's no coaches before were reaching out. Because when Barbie was there, I came back after I graduated. I was actually on the sideline for the LaGrange game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because that was the rapport we had with Barbie. It was nothing to walk that sideline and being able to be on the sideline with the players during the home game. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Clifton?
Well, like you said, all they got to do is reach out to us. I try to make some of the games when I can, try to be around a little, but most of the time I'm working during the time they're playing, but I wouldn't mind taking off to visit whenever I can.
Definitely. One more question. It's for Lionel, and we're gonna wrap this up. This from Kermit Bethencourt. Oh God. Kermit asks Lionel, who was the hardest quarterback that you ever had to go against, with Kermit included?
Kermit was the hardest one I had. No, honestly, it was Ike Wilson.
Ike Wilson
at Shaw.
Yeah.
We used to play them spring game when Barbie came over from Shaw.
Yeah.
That was our spring game every year. And I guess because him and Hank was still cool, but Ike was unreal. And as a freshman, trying to tackle Ike, listen, man, he would backpedal and laugh at you because he knew you wasn't going to get him, especially a lineman. He wasn't going to let a lineman get him. But Ike was phenomenal, and I think that was one of the hardest tackle football quarterbacks I played against. But if Kermit talking about flag, he was the best quarterback I went against.
Yes,
Where did he
indeed.
play ball at? Kermit.
West St. John.
Weston. Wow.
Yeah.
Now
Yeah.
Ike Wilson, I think really legendary, and to me, probably one of the best quarterbacks ever played at Shaw, in my opinion, because of the fact he was really that good. He was amazing. And the story about him is it was just sad how things went with him. It was
He turned Higgins around by himself.
By himself.
by
He put Higgins
himself.
in the playoffs by himself.
And I think he was signed to Mississippi State, and then all of a sudden tragedy happened. So it was sad hearing about him, because seeing him in person, Ike was that dude, man. I'm like, I knew a couple of people that played. Chuck Parquette was one of my people, and he even said Ike was unreal. A lot of people said Ike was unreal.
He was a high school Michael Vick. That's the best way I can sum it up. To say what Ike could do at that position.
Because they said
Lamar Jackson.
Right. Because they said Shaw, they said the Joseph. Right. They say the Josephs at Shaw.
Mm-hmm.
And then Ike Wilson.
Put Ike above the.
Oh, I understand. I respect that. Because
I'm just saying, because
he was that good.
He was that good. Now the Josephs were good, but Ike was just phenomenal, bro. He was,
Ike on a higher level. Ike was something else. Lionel, man, thank you so much for joining us. We lost Cliff again, but I want to thank him also. But thank y'all, man, for joining us to talk about that 1992 magical season, man. We truly appreciate it.
Appreciate you for having me.
Definitely, man.
We'll
no doubt.
Soon.
Take care.
All right, y'all take care too.
Right.
Later.
That's Lionel Irons, and I'm gonna say it because I've talked about it with people, and I'm gonna go ahead and say it. When you walk in Hahnville's basketball gym, right when you walk in that gym, I mean the basketball court part, not when you walk in the door and you paying your money for a ticket to watch a basketball game. When you walk in onto the court, right when you walk in there, look to your right and raise your head up. There are 5 jerseys retired. 5. And I'm going to tell you the names right quick. One is Don Raymond. And Don Raymond is mentioned as one of the greatest football players ever. Don Raymond. And I want to say that was Horace's father or uncle. Number 2, you got the Landry brothers, LaRon and DeJuan. They're up there. You got Pokey Chapman. Her jersey's retired. And I don't remember his first name, but his last name is Loop. He played Major League Baseball. And I see those 5 and I salute them. But I always wonder to myself, why isn't Clifton White's jersey retired? Why isn't there a number 9 with the name White up there somewhere? And this is not me calling Hahnville out. Let's get that straight. I'm not doing that because, I got number love for Hahnville, and everybody in that community could tell you that. I don't know what are Hahnville's rules, regulations, and standards to retiring jerseys for people. I don't know. But if you saw Clifton White play those 3 years, 45-3, how magical he was on that football field. In my opinion, Clifton White jersey should be up there with those other 5.
I agree. I definitely agree. I can understand why they put the Landry's jerseys as retirees. I get it. Totally get it. And I'm not calling out Hahnville either. But I think, to be honest, it's kind of a tragedy not having Clifton White's jersey retired. 45-3 as a starter and 2 state championships. You have to retire his jersey. Nah, you have to retire it. I can understand why the others, but Clifton White has got to be up there. Even not just Clifton White, being he needs to be retired. That's off top. Brian Lee is another one. Brian Lee needs his jersey retired too. Remember, won a state championship in Hahnville for the first time in a long time, and changed the trajectory of the state with that title. Those two in general, Brian Lee and Clifton White's jersey they need to be recognized, and they need their jerseys retired. Being honest with you, because those two quarterbacks in general they did their thing and they won a state championship. Now, a lot of people are gonna say Puka Williams maybe down the line, because what he did was unbelievable.
He put a whole team on his back.
Should he retire his jersey? Not now, but it can happen.
Think about it. They lost to Zachary in the state game, but he had a hurt ankle and still rushed for 200-some yards.
Agreed.
Yeah, that's.
You think Puka's jersey need to be retired too?
Do I think Puka jersey need to be retired? I'm gonna tell you what the majority would say in the community of Hahnville. Yeah, they think so. And a lot of them do consider Puka the best ever to play at Hahnville. He's in that conversation also.
And he can definitely be in the conversation, because it's the fact that he worked his way to that season. He kept on making progress all the way to junior year, when he was up and down, but he had a nice year. Senior year, it was just the coming out party. It was just an all-around coming out party. And it's the fact that all them years he worked and carried that team on his back to get them to the dome. Yeah, he's worthy to get his jersey retired. So Puka, Brian Lee, but the first one has to be Clifton White. Coach Boyne, I know you're gonna do all you can.
Don't put Coach Boyne on the spot. That's our guy. Don't do that to him, bro.
I'm not gonna do it.
We don't know Hahnville's rules and regulations today. We don't know. Don't put Coach Boyne, our dude, man. Don't do that.
No. What you're saying is right. Greg Boyne is not on you. My bad, brother. I'm gonna say this. Let's think about this. Hahnville community, St. Charles Parish, do some thinking, and let's see. At least let's get Clifton White honored, and also hopefully get his jersey retired as well. It's about time he gets some recognition out of the three first. He needs that.
Yeah, Clifton White was that guy, man, for those 3 years at Hahnville. And he had a lot of great players around him. I'm not going to overlook Horace Raymond and all those guys, but Clifton White, those 3 years, man.
He was a playmaker.
He was a playmaker, man. He made things happen, bro. He made things happen. Yeah, LSU signed 2 state titles. I mean,
Shelby Ball with the facts.
I mean, guys, man. And I forgot. Nooney had he commented earlier about he thinks it's the administration when it comes to forgot what the topic was. Maybe about the jerseys.
Jersey retirement.
Yeah, he put his opinion in there. And I remember years ago he started a debate on Facebook, like who's the greatest of all time at Hahnville, and he said Puka. A lot of said Puka. Some said Don, and then all of a sudden, those around Clifton age came in there. Clifton White. And I was like, well, you saw Clifton White, man. I got to see it at age 8, 9, and 10 years old.
And if you want to go back and look at Clifton White, some of his highlights, go to 14-0 Productions on YouTube. I know they got some Hahnville ball games.
Well, they got the state title games. The state title games. You could look up that 1992 Hahnville Dream Season. It's a 20-minute clip, and you can see Clifton White, the flick of the wrist, bro. Like the flick of the wrist. Ball going way down the field, man. This dude was phenomenal. But that 92 team was phenomenal, man. 94 was great. 95 got back, but Neville was just a better team that year in 95. But it's okay, bro. It's okay.
Yeah, I'm good, because you have to understand. I'm still gonna say what I'm not gonna be fictitious or none of that. All I know, that should have been saying, oh, I'm sorry. Because plain and simple, that fullback, and I still ain't forget to this day, that first play of the game in the dome, this fullback from Neville goes 65 freaking yards on a track, and he runs slow as dirt on grass. Bruh, I mean, this mug, like, that should have been us. Should have been us in the dome. But it is what it is. Never was better that day and that year.
Yes, indeed. Shout out to Lionel and Clifton for joining us. We truly appreciate them joining us to talk about that 92 season. It was magical. And I'm glad, my dad brought me to some of those games during those years, man. That Clifton was there, man. It was great.
Part of growing up, dude.
Oh, yeah. Great times. It was great times at Hahnville, man. Just going to those games and seeing them win. It was great times.
My dad always first took me to West Jeff games, and then we went to other games. We checked out Everett sometimes. We checked out Shaw, and then we started going to the St. Aug games. And he was like, "I want to bring you there to see what St. Aug is about, so you can know this might be the school I might send you to, but I want you to see what it's about." So it was going to a St. Aug game was really real. It was a total change going to West Jeff ball games and going to Shaw ball games and maybe Eric games. It was a big change going to St. Aug games, a tag on me. It was like, whoa, you know what I'm saying? A different type of atmosphere, different type of environment. So it just drew me in there. So that kind of thing. But then getting a taste of the River Parishes finally and looking at, like, dang, this is serious football. They take this serious, man. And Hahnville, all these other places, West St. John, going to the old St. James Stadium, not the new one, the old one. Whoo! And I like Hahnville, but to me, I still say the best environment in River Parish to me is
Here you go again. Boy, he always got to put Hahnville down some kind of way.
I'm not putting Hahnville down. I am not. I'm not putting Hahnville down. Come on, man. Did I just say I have love for Hahnville?
Yeah, let me stop you right quick. Because our guy, one and only Coach Greg Boyne, just commented, "What's up, Coach? Great show, gentlemen, as always. I will definitely look into requirements to have Jersey retired. Either way, we will honor Clifton White and a few others at home games this season. Appreciate y'all coverage of the Fighting Tigers." You got it, Coach Boyne, and that's great. That's great news right there. Definitely right there.
Thank you, Coach Boyne.
Definitely, man. Definitely.
Hopefully we'll try to be there. It depends on our schedule. But
we got them at Terrebonne. Week 4. We do have that. That's one game we have. Hahnville at Terrebonne. We're trying to get another one. So
see the next comment. It wasn't no shade. Somebody know.
Oh, that's Troy Narcisse. He's from St. James.
but no, I'm not throwing shade at Hahnville. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, look, I was impressed, Shelby. I was impressed. I always been impressed at Tiger Stadium. When I went to St. James and watched their stadium for the first time, I was shocked at that environment. You talking about hostile. Oh my God, especially when they played John Curtis. That place, oh goodness gracious. It is like, and then what's the kicks part is the fact some nights it's more colder because you're nearby the river.
Mm-hmm.
You're right there. And then on top of that, third to the fourth quarter, here come the train. Oh my God. It is like, bro, it is nuts.
Oh, man.
But regardless of the fact, all those River Parish stadiums have something. It's unique. It's great.
Let me say this. And I've said it to you a lot, and you heard Lionel say it tonight. Lionel said when Hahnville and Desiree got winning records, undefeated one team, one win, one loss, or like the game we went to last year that I brought you to when they were playing for the district championship, Hahnville playing for the outright district championship, Desiree playing for the share, and you saw the stands on both sides full.
Yes,
and that hadn't been the case for some years. And I always told you when I went to those games, years ago,
Mhm.
in my 20s, in my early 30s, you know, it was always standing room only on the around the track. They had a fence around the track. And yes, Lionel even said it. They brought out extra stands before. Yes, and that is so true. And right now, I think we on the
On track.
way getting that back. And that's why I always said, man, to me, that's what made it the number one rivalry in the state of Louisiana for football, Hahnville and Destrehan. You just had to experience it for yourself.
And we were just starting to really know each other more than anything else. As we were starting to really become friends, knowing each other and everything else. And it was a privilege to meet your family. It was a privilege to meet your grandmother. It was a privilege to see the Boyd side, like your dad's side of the family. It was really cool to see. And I'm like, wow, my mom wasn't lying about the people out there in Hahnville and Boutique, man. They're good people out here, man. It's real good people. The atmosphere is unbelievable. And it's unbelievable. I got like my mom has some family. I have family in Destrehan. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Marcus Scott is married to my second cousin. One of the administrators who've been a long time. You know what I'm talking about. Mr. They call him Peter Rabbit Pumpkin. Mr. Merlin. Yeah.
Yeah, Mr. Merlin.
That's
Yeah.
that's that's that's, that's
Yes.
my cousin. So, it's amazing when you find out you got family out there. So, but my family originally, you think about it, part of my family was from Edgard. The origin of the Jones Richard Bashery.
There you go. Coach Bowen letting us know the River Paris Jamboree is at Lutcher this year. River Paris Jamborees. Hey, these of us have this at the Ed Reed River Paris Jamboree. So I'm glad this is kind of back. This is good. This is good, man. When
They've
you
been
get,
switching. They've been switching it up a bit
but I
at
don't think they
different
had it.
stadiums.
I don't think they had it the past couple of years at
They
all.
haven't. Oh, they haven't.
Because
Okay.
Hahnville
Okay.
was hosting their own jamboree at one time. Remember?
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So this is
Okay.
good. This is
So
good that this
they're
is back.
going back to it.
Yeah, this is
I
good.
think the rivalries are starting to come back too, because this St. Charles scheduled Lutcher, St. James on their schedule as well last couple years, and everything else. And you look at Riverside, West St. John, and we seen a comment earlier tonight, and somebody else. Big shout out to Chris Singleton. They have to bring back Lutcher St. James.
They got to.
They don't. There's a lot of history.
They got
You
to.
thought you
That's
thought
a
you
must.
thought Destrehan and Hahnville had a historical. That's a big rivalry. But number two is Lutcher St. James. That's a lot of history with them two. Even though some of it is one sided, regardless,
Bring
it's
it
an
back.
intense rivalry.
They need to bring that
They
back.
bring it back. Yes.
River Paris Jamboree. First game, Hahnville versus St. James. Then Lutcher against Destrehan, August 29th. Troy Narcisse says Hahnville coming back, but that's why. But they're coming back. But the best River Paris rivalry is St. James versus Lutcher. Is like that anytime we play. Hey, I'm just gonna say this, Troy. I'm gonna say this, my man. I'm gonna say this. I don't have a problem with you thinking that's the best rivalry. I don't have a problem at all. Y'all haven't played in 5 years. Y'all haven't played in 5 years. Where the rivalry at? Where's the rivalry at? You haven't played in 5 years, man. Now, you want to go historically and all time? Yeah, you can put it up there. I won't put it above Hahnville Destrehan. That's just me. But St. James and Lutcher, they got to come back, man. They got to come back and play each other. It's that important to the River Parishes that rivalry comes back.
I'm hoping after this year, because I know this is year 2 of a lot of these contracts with these teams. Off season is going to tell everything after this year. And we'll see if Lutcher St. James comes back. If they're not in the same district, at least get a rivalry going again.
Definitely. Before we get out of here, question: what was the best rivalry in the West Bank of all time? Oh, the West Bank of Jefferson Parish. I mean, well, I could say Orleans was the three-headed monster with Carr, O'Perry, Walker, and Landry. You could say that. Jefferson Parish, Shaw and Eric didn't play each other enough. If they would play every year, that would have been it #1. But no, that wasn't it. So I guess I got to go West Jeff and John Eric.
It's the obvious question. It's West Jeff Eric. It's too much history with that rivalry. Period. That is history, especially the talent that then came through both them schools, the games back then to the 2000s, all the way to the 2000s, how good those games were. And I mean, they were close, like maybe maybe few, very few of those Eric West Jeff rivalries one sided, very few. But at the same time, they went down to the wire, and it was very, very intense. Orleans, you make a good point with O'Perry Walker, Landry, and Carr. That used to be the Algiers champion. That was basically the New Orleans version of the Commanders and Chiefs trophy. Whoever had the best record wins the trophy for the season. So that's what that rivalry was, and that was an interesting kind of thing until the merger of Landry Walker coming together for those three. I'm gonna say for those 4.5 years together. And St. Aug 35 was not a true New Orleans rivalry
Not a
until
West Bank. It's not a West Bank. He asked
they
West
said
Bank
just
stuff.
West Bank. But no, you
Yeah,
said something about New Orleans, but
of course, go ahead. St. Aug, right? Go ahead. Go ahead.
no,
You done
no.
it all show. Go ahead.
Listen what I'm about to tell you. This is what I'm about to tell you. This is facts.
We didn't say
It
it wasn't.
was a one-sided rivalry until Wayne Reese was the head coach at 35.
35.
And that changed the entire rivalry. Now it became a rivalry because at one point, 35 won about 10 straight years against St. Aug. And I'm like, bruh, this is now a rivalry. These people then got their payback and retribution. Now we have to up our game and try to kick their behinds now. So that's just what it is. Sometimes it gets one sided and then it eases up. I'm gonna say this: it was one sided for Rummel St. Aug until Jay Roth got there. Jay Roth changed it. Things happen, bro.
It happens.
Things
It
freaking
happens.
happen.
Let's get out of here right quickly, and I mean quickly, VK, quickly.
Yeah, we'll make it quick.
Yeah. Teddy Bridgewater suspended as the head coach of Northwestern Miami or Miami Northwest after winning the state championship last year. I think they finished third in the national rankings, and they say due to impermissible benefits when he was paying for Uber drivers for players and all that. And I just find that ridiculous, man. I just find it ridiculous that he's getting suspended for that. Because a lot of coaches throughout the entire nation spend their own money to help these kids with things. And that's all Teddy Bridgewater was doing. That's all he was doing. I'm just like, that's sad, man. That is sad. Some of these kids can't get to their school. Some of these kids can't get a ride to practice. It's how it is. So if Teddy is spending money to help these kids be able to get to school, to catch the bus, to go to a game, or just to get back to school to play a game, what's the problem here, people? Seriously. Go ahead, man.
I think we keep making steps forward as a people, and all of a sudden we take 10 steps back. I mean, it was just for the school to turn in the information, for the FHSAA to do what they did, combining the school with it. I mean, Miami Northwestern doesn't deserve Teddy Bridgewater after all he's done for that school, his alma mater, and everything else. They don't deserve him because of what, and it is not really the school's fault. It's the athletic director's fault and the administration, whoever's the administration. I don't know what your jealousy is about. I don't know what your beef is with this man. Miami Northwestern is known as a very powerful program, and they have not won state in a while. For him to turn that program around and win it, and for him to try to come back to the program, it's just to me, I really think, and I still say it's PBS, politics and bull. It's just straight up like that. Politics as usual. We see it everywhere, everywhere. Somebody don't like somebody. Will somebody stop with liking whoever? Do what you can to coexist. Coexist. Come together as one. Why can't we do that? I don't understand. But all I know, I smell a lawsuit for one. For two, if I'm Teddy, lawsuit one, but that's also you better put the leverage down and put the hammer down too, and be like, if another job wants me to come in and become the head coach, come in there, and guess what? There's a possibility that some of your kids might be coming to my school that I'm gonna be coaching.
Yeah, because Florida, you can transfer anywhere and not sit out.
So that could happen, and your program is gonna really start burning up. So that's all I gotta say about that. But the athletic directors and the administration at Miami Northwestern is really, really looking bad, man. I feel bad for Terry Bridgewater, but Miami and Northwestern and FHSAA has really put a black eye in this subject. It's sad, truly sad.
All right. We're gonna go ahead and call it a night, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you all.
Oh, see what it in Liberty City.
Yeah,
See,
I told you when we talked earlier. I said
yeah, you
the
sure
areas
did.
that they in. Yeah, that's what I said earlier. Yeah, exactly.
Who is jealous? This is stupid.
It's just
No,
sad.
no extra fun. Where the funding at? Like I said, I'm sorry. Somebody in the administration ain't got no damn common sense, and we'll leave it at that.
So we're back tomorrow night, everyone, and we go back to the year 2016. Algiers was up and jumping a lot because Carr won a championship in Class 4A that night, but their arch rivals, the Landry Walker Charging Buccaneers, won the 5A championship the following night. And who was their quarterback? The one and only Keaton Thompson. He's going to join us tomorrow night. We're going to talk about his career at Landry Walker, his college career at Mississippi State and Virginia. Keaton Thompson is going to join us tomorrow night as we continue Legends Month for the month of July. You got any last words quickly, VK?
Man, great show tonight. I'd like to thank the Hahnville 92 team that joined us. Man, it was good to talk about River Parish football. It was good to talk about the tradition of Hahnville high school football, man. So it was a really good night to have those guys and one of the greatest players ever. And it was good for Greg Bourne to chime in with us. Definitely. And some progress might get made. Hahnville faithful. Stay tuned.
Yeah, Coach Bourne, you'll be getting a phone call from me within a week or two. Something I'm trying to do with a couple schools around the area. So you get a phone call from me, and hopefully you give me the yes to make it happen. But other than that, yeah, thank you to Clifton White. Thank you to Lionel Irons for joining us. Thank you to everybody who tuned in, and then also to those who's going to watch the replay later on. Thank y'all too. Be getting ready, man. High school football is around the corner. It's around the corner. So for VK Jones, I'm JB the Sports Guy. We'll see you all tomorrow night, same time, 7:10. Keaton Thompson, joining us tomorrow at 7:30. Thank y'all. Y'all take care.
At Bayou AV Security, we are your one-stop shop for all your needs, whether it's enhancing your home entertainment system, securing your property, ensuring a seamless internet connection, or illuminating your outdoor spaces. We've got you covered. Bayou AV Security, where technology meets reliability. Call us today to experience the Bayou difference.
JFK Martial Arts offers a wide variety of martial arts programs for kids, teens, and adults as they empower lives through martial arts. Please give them a call at 985-266-0664 and don't forget to ask about their 1-week free special. Feeling drained from the constant noise in your daily life? Immerse yourself in pure audio bliss with drums. Experience a world of crystal clear sound, free from distractions. Discover the ultimate relaxation and escape into an oasis of serenity. Grab yours today. drumsworld.com.
If you're looking for the best pizza in Metro New Orleans, then you're in the right place. Moe's Pizza has a great selection of Italian food that can satisfy your appetite, and they can also cater to your needs in any event. Give them a call at 504-341-9650 or log on to www.moespizzanola.com, located at 1112 Avenue H in West Wego, Louisiana. Moe's Pizza, Italians do it better.
Thank you for watching the Hash It Out Show. Please like, subscribe, and comment. Thank you.